Where'd it go? Okay. Alright, we're just gonna be late. It's fine. Alright. Hopefully everything's fine. I have no idea. Go! GGG not live.
Reveal for what's coming next for Path of Exile 2. Twitch drops are enabled on today's livestream, so you'll be able to claim your Verdant Wilds dodge roll effect by following the instructions below. Now today, it's finally time to show off a new class that we know everyone in the community's been waiting for. So let's roll the trailer for Path of Exile 2, the
Let's
last of the
go!
Druids.
Naked. He is a hobo. He's a sexy hobo.
Well, what have we got here then?
You lost, fella?
Hey, we're talking to you.
I asked you a question.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What's wrong with him?
Ah, he's lost his bloody mind.
Bear! Yes! Oh, it's the pet! Oh, that's so cool! Oh, with the wolf pack was so cool. I didn't even think about that. What? It's real! It's real! Interesting music. What does this remind me of? It's like folky music reminds me.
Evil.
I will find you evil.
Now, as you can see, the Druid is a shape-shifting elemental spellcaster. After his fellow Druids were destroyed by the King in the Mists, the Druid lost his humanity in the forests of Ogham, where he wandered for years as a beast. Now, finally reawakened, he's determined to find his lost wife and regain his humanity. The Druid has been one of the hardest classes for us to design. As well as having human spells, he has 3 animal forms, and we wanted to make sure that there were interesting combos between all of them. The Druid is our first hybrid strength and intelligence class. That means he needs to have the ability to use spells and attacks. As a human, the Druid typically uses magical staves to harness the
I like
powers
the
of the earth and the natural world.
Shape and filth.
One of the first skills you will learn is the ability to create small volcanoes from the earth. This skill spits out balls of magma at your enemies, and will continue to do so for some time. While the volcano is active, turn into an animal and wade into melee range. Many of the skills you use as a human last for a significant period of time, giving you a good chance to turn into an animal and rage out. But how do you turn into an animal, you may ask? Well, the answer is a new weapon type that Druids use, Animal
Talismans.
Talismans.
Okay, that was right too.
When you equip an Animal Talisman, you can choose which animal form you would like the talisman to represent.
Oh.
Depending on what you choose, you'll be given that animal's basic attack as a new skill to equip.
Oh, so Wyvern's
For a bear,
probably
that's
ascendancy.
maul. To turn into a bear, simply use the skill. Your character will instantly transform into a bear and attack. If you want to change back to a human, just cast a spell. You will
I like
instantly
the
swap back
runic
and cast.
designs on it.
We wanted to make sure that swapping between forms
the
was
bear.
seamless and immediate. Changing forms should be something that you do without even thinking about it all the time in battle. In
Okay.
order to allow for hybrid melee and caster gameplay, most of the skills you use in your human form last for some time and aid your animal skills in some way.
But can I just run
The
around?
volcano we used earlier will emit
as
more molten
animal
balls whenever
form?
you hit it with a slam, making it perfect for use with your bear form's furious slam.
When they showed that little clip of the wolf pack,
While
I
in
was
bear
like,
form,
oh man, I want
many of your
that.
abilities use rage. There are a lot of ways to generate rage, but the easiest one is simply smash your enemies with maul.
I don't even like minion builds, and I want the wolf
Once you see
pack.
the runes on your back glowing, it means you have enough rage to do a much more devastating version of your furious slam. Your bear form can also go on a rampage, stomping the ground as you demolish your foes. The more rage you have, the longer the rampage lasts, and doing it over a volcano makes it even better. As you consume rage, your bear form will generate endurance charges, and these can be used with skills like Ferocious Roar. Ferocious Roar is a war cry that empowers your subsequent attacks to break your opponent's armor. The more endurance charges you have when you use it, the more empowered attacks you will gain. But Ferocious Roar has another special feature too. It's a meta gem that allows you to socket any Warcry gem from another class into it, giving you the ability to use these skills as a bear.
Oh,
Use the Warrior's Infernal Cry skill to make your enemies explode. Or use Seismic Cry to stun your enemies and double up the number of slams you do.
the bear looks really slow. I mean, the stampede looks nice. How long can you stampede?
You can even use it with Ancestral Call, a skill that turns you into the fire god Khal. Ever wondered what the Karui god of
like
war would
that
look like if
move
he was
looks
a
like
bear?
the best thing
Well,
about
wait
the
no
bear.
longer. Finally, build up enough rage and you can use one of the bear's ultimate abilities, Walking Calamity. This skill summons a storm of fire around you for some time, while generating even more rage to power your other abilities. A true bear apocalypse.
Like if you could run around like that,
Now,
but
the
like
bear
the whole
is known for
time.
being a slower and more lumbering animal, with slower attacks and heavy slams. But what if you want to turn into something a little more nimble? Well, let's check out the second animal form for the druid, wolf form. For the wolf form, we wanted to go fast and furious. Even just the wolf's basic attack will leap forward and rake his foes. After attacking, the wolf stands
You're
up
gonna
on two
die, bro.
legs, but after running for a short time, he goes back on all fours, allowing to move more quickly between packs of enemies. The wolf has a lot of cold attacks based on his association with the moon, and the first of these is Lunar Assault. It's great for freezing your enemies in place. After they're frozen, use your basic rake attack to knock shards of ice off your enemies, which land on the ground nearby and explode. If you want to get into battle quickly, you can use your pounce attack. This skill leaps at a target and applies a mark to them. Killing the marked enemy will summon a wolfman into your side, allowing them to fight with you. Mark and kill as many enemies as you can to build up a sizable pack.
Oh, that's how you
While an
summon
enemy
them?
is marked, your wolves will prioritize that target and do more damage the more wolves you have. So make sure you keep your pack strong. Now, one problem you might run into is your wolf pack dying in boss fights. You often don't have any enemies that you can mark and kill in order to regenerate your pack. To deal with this problem, you can use Cross Slash. Cross Slash jumps backwards and does a vicious double slash. Any marks on your target explode and triggers their abilities. This allows you to pounce to mark an enemy and then summon a wolf even without killing it. Cross Slash also has another feature though. Remember those ice fragments from before? Well, Cross Slash will propel
Man.
any ice shards on the ground towards its central target.
I'm not gonna lie, man.
First, freeze your enemies with Lunar
This
Assault.
gameplay they're showing
Then
makes it
rake
look
them to
so
create as
bad.
many ice fragments as you can. Then follow up with Cross Slash to generate a field of icy explosions to obliterate your enemies.
It's because they're trying to show off like the combos.
If they're still
But,
alive
like-
after that, your pack of wolves can finish them off.
They're making it look so bad. Thematically, it's all cool though.
Just like with the bear's raw skill earlier that allows you to use skills from other classes, Pounce is also a meta gem that you can socket mark skills from other classes into. So for example, you might want to try adding Freezing Mark from the Monk to Pounce. After pouncing at an enemy, Cross Slash to explode the mark and gain extra cold damage for a time. The Wolf has many other ways to go all in on cold though. Using the Arctic Howl Warcry will allow you to add cold damage and chilled ground to any slam.
I actually
while
think
buffing
from
your
these
pack of
two, I
wolves
would
as
just
well.
prefer to play the bear.
You can also use it
honestly.
to freeze enemies that are close to being frozen.
Running around with the
making it
pack
much
is
faster
cool,
to
but
use your
the
other
way you
combos.
generate them sounds like a pain
Finally,
in
the
the
wolf
ass.
also has the ability to call down the power of the moon to transform into an Arctic werewolf with Lunar
cool.
Blessing. In this form, you move and attack more quickly and deal extra cold damage. Consuming Rage will extend the duration of your Arctic Wolf form, so you could try a hybrid bear and wolf build if you want to utilize the skill to its full effect. Alright, let's talk about the third form available to the Druid, and I think it's a cool one, the Wyvern. The Wyvern has a number of long-range breath abilities, but that doesn't mean you can't get into melee range when you want to. The basic attack of the Wyvern is Rend. Jump forward into combat and slash your enemies with your lethal talons. If they're close to being stunned, you can blow them off balance with a blast from your wings, causing an explosion of damage.
Hello.
After the battle, though, it's time to feed. Devour the corpses of monsters to create power charges. And this is when the Wyvern's abilities really come online. When using Rend, you can consume a power charge to charge up your wings with lightning.
Combo stuff, and I'm
Not
just
only
like,
does this do a bunch of damage,
you think I'm
but
gonna
it
go
allows
to
you to
maps
turn this melee skill
and
into
I'm
a
gonna
much
do
larger AoE attack.
this lame melee attack and wait
Once
till
your
I
wings
kill
are
something
charged,
to eat it?
your wing blast will also do lightning explosions for even more damage. If your enemies are close to death, no need to wait for them to actually die. When you see this blue marker, just devour them alive. Fresh meat is much tastier after all.
I kind of wish they'd show a little bit of how you would actually play
range?
this, because
Well, you wouldn't be much of a dragon if you couldn't breathe
ain't
fire
no way
after all.
someone's gonna be playing it like
Rolling
this.
magma is the first of the Wyvern's breath attacks. Spit balls of fire that bounce along
Rolling
the ground.
magma's back!
These balls will trigger volcanoes as well, so it's a good idea to
Now
cast one as a
that's
human
some
right
shit.
before you start spitting.
Oh my
But that's
god.
not all you can spit. You have something a little nastier in that gullet of yours.
Ooh, tar.
Spitting a barrage of oil at your enemies will cover them in a viscous sludge that makes them easier to ignite. If you have power charges, though, plant your wings in the ground and vomit a barrage of lightning-infused projectiles. The more power charges you have,
I can't believe
the
how
longer you can do
shamelessly
this
they were
for.
just like, and
But make
that's
sure you
rolling
keep your foes
magma
at range. You're vulnerable to melee attacks while channeling this skill.
coming out
In
of
order
the
to help with
dragon's
that,
mouth.
let's take a quick diversion
It's
back to
funny.
some of your human abilities. As a druid of Scoth, you have the ability to harness the power of nature to create entangling vines to slow down your enemies. Another of nature's punishments is the thunderstorm. Creating one of these will create periodic strikes of lightning from the sky, and will also make your enemies wet. Why is that useful? Well, of course, things that are wet are easier to shock. Use it with lightning damage from your wyvern form to enhance your damage. Making things wet also makes them easier to freeze, so it works nicely with your wolf form as well. And you know what else likes water? Plants. Water your plants to give them various extra
Water
abilities.
your plants.
Use Lightning Storm with Entangle to make them last longer, and attach more vines to each enemy, slowing them further. Summon Thrashing Vines to slam at your enemies for a time. Any that are created in water will be larger
I'm
and deal more damage.
struggling to see with most of this
Now
how
then,
you'd
with our
actually
enemies
make
sufficiently
like
subdued
a
with our
build
plants,
out of it
time to really lay into them with our lightning-infused barrage.
because of the way that they're showing it off.
Now, this last wyvern ability is just ridiculous, but we felt like we had to do it.
Okay.
Use Flame Breath to take to the skies and rain down a stream of fire on your enemies. You
Okay.
have wings, so we have to take full advantage of them after all.
That
So fly
sounds
around
cool.
and burn in it.
Okay. Well, that was pretty sick.
Now, there are a few other skills we didn't cover, but there's one in particular that I think will open up a lot of builds. Spell Totems. Spell Totems are
Hey.
meta gems that let you create a totem that will automatically
Oh,
cast
that's
any spell in the
really
game for a
exciting,
time.
actually.
In order to create one, you will need to spend 3 endurance or 3 power charges. You could use them to throw fireballs, summon comets, or shower the area in lightning. Really, the options are kind of endless. Your bear form can easily generate endurance charges
There's
by
no way
consuming
spell
rage,
totems are going to be
and your wyvern
overpowered
form can easily create power charges by eating
in this
corpses.
league.
So it's pretty easy for the druid to get the charges needed, but they're also available from quite a few other places as well. I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of different spellcaster classes thinking about how best to take advantage of these. Now, of course, along with a new class comes a bunch of new support gems. We've added over 30 new supports throughout the game, but I'll show you a few of the cooler ones here. Fan the Flames can be added to any wind skill to spread fire from one ignited enemy to the other enemies behind them. It's great for the Wyvern's Wing Blast, but you can also use it on many other classes with wind skills, like the Twisters on the Huntress, or the Monk's Staggering Palm Projectiles. Accelerated Growth causes extra explosive plants to erupt from the ground whenever you grow plants with rain. And Advancing Storm changes storm skills like your Thunderstorm
Okay.
or Tornado to move across the battlefield. It's great for watering plants en masse,
That looks
or to turn
cool.
tornadoes into a real disaster by sucking up multiple ground effects as they travel along.
Bro is
And the
doing
Sorceress might like
no
to use it
damage.
with Firestorm as well. Echoing Cry causes your Warcry skills to echo. They will repeat a couple more times with a delay after you use them, giving you more empowered attacks. Use it for the Druid's animal form Warcries, or on the Warrior for a nice power boost. Grounding Shocks causes monsters you shock to turn into living Tesla coils, arcing lightning to nearby enemies. You could use it with your empowered wings for an extra damage boost,
I wonder if the
but
talisman's
it's also great
two-handed.
with any other shocking skill. Try it out with Lightning Spear. It obviously needed more AoE clear. There's a whole pile more, but we'll leave those for you to discover. Now with a new class comes new Ascendancy classes.
I'm not
The Druid
getting up
will have
early.
two
though.
options
In
for
fact,
now, with
today
a
I
third
got
being
up
released
late.
later. The first class is the Shaman. The Shaman channels nature's
Frustratingly,
elemental
I
fury
was
and
actually
can harness
awake
rage as a spellcaster,
in bed.
unifying as animalistic
My
and
alarm
magical
didn't go off.
tendencies.
And I
By
didn't
allocating
realize.
Druidic Champion,
So
you gain
we're not
spell
even
damage
watching
the
this
angrier
live.
you are.
We're like
And with Furious Wellspring,
30
you
minutes
generate
behind
rage
or something.
continuously and can spend it to empower your spells. With the knowledge of the Asmerian Magi, the Shaman can harness untapped power from runes and idols. After allocating Wisdom of the Magi, you will notice that all runes and idols have extra mods only available to the Shaman. These new mods unlock
Okay.
countless new possibilities for enhancing your build.
oh, talisman is
You
two-handed.
can also allocate Bringer of the Apocalypse,
I can see it in the
allowing
UI.
you to become a walking natural disaster. After
Okay,
dealing
the
enough
Wyvern
elemental
isn't an
damage,
Ascendancy one, they
storms
just
of all
purposely
elements
hit it
rain
at
around
the
you,
beginning.
destroying all who would face nature's fury.
It might be a higher level one
There
or
are other
something
abilities
though.
for the Shaman, but I'll just show a few from each class for now. The other Druid Ascendancy is the Oracle. The Oracle perfected the power of foresight and utilizes this in combat to gain massive advantage.
Also,
When
hello,
taking
one.
Fateful Vision, you will see visions of your future self using specific skills. If you decide to follow this path by using the skill yourself, it will do significantly more damage.
Okay, bye.
And with Converging Paths, at a critical moment in battle when a monster is vulnerable to freeze, stun, or electrocution, the Oracle can use Moment of Vulnerability to see a vision of the enemy's future and then merge it with the current timeline, allowing him to deal damage to both. And one of my favorites, when you first become an Oracle, you'll notice over 130
Okay.
new extra passives
Yeah, that looks much
appear
more
in the
full.
Druid section of the tree. By allocating the Unseen Path, you use your power of foresight to learn from alternate futures and gain skills that would otherwise be unavailable to you.
Some more passive points.
For example, self-sacrificing allows you to be able to summon more minions by reducing their spirit costs, with the trade-off of making your reservation skills cost more spirit. Or Corruption Endures, which allows oracles to have a small chance to avoid death. Both the Druid Ascendancies offer interesting and unique ways to gain modifiers that no other classes can get, so we're expecting a huge variety of build possibilities from these. Now there are unique talismans for the Druid to use as well. We won't spoil all of them, but this one was particularly cool. Fury of the King turns your bear form into a fire demon, converting most of your damage to fire. As a demon, you can also use Molten Crash, a jumping slam attack that leaves
That's
fishes
cool.
around you. This unique also continuously grants glory, allowing you to use your ultimate abilities more easily. Now, of course, the Druid isn't the only thing we're adding to 040. We still have a bunch more to show. With every new release, we create a new league with new mechanics, new pinnacle bosses, and with a new story to tell. And this time is no exception. So let's roll the trailer for the Fate of the Vaal.
All right, here we go.
The palace of Queen Atziri. It is a ruin, but in the dark, machines still churn. The temple has many functions, and with it,
Oh, this looks
a
way
chance to
better.
save the Vaal.
Oh, let's go.
A gateway through time.
Yeah, I want this to make me like Incursion.
Travel into the past again and
Because I
again.
like the idea behind it.
Alter the temple.
This looks
Uncover
way
its
better.
secrets.
Because the biggest problem for me with Incursion in POE 1 was just the UI. Because I didn't understand what I was doing.
In the deepest chamber,
I'm dumb.
my queen awaits. I beg of you, hear me. The beast cannot give you what you desire.
You may have studied it, Doriani, but you do not know it like I do. It adores me.
Damn.
Come now, give unto me your desire. At last, fulfill my soul.
Yeah, that was cool. I mean, if not a
I'm
little
Mark
too
Roberts,
involved, maybe.
Game
But
Director on Path of Exile.
very cool.
In the Fate of the Vaal League, you will find remnants of the ancient Vaal civilization scattered throughout Rayclast. They seem to attract nearby creatures and affect them strangely. After killing them, the remnant appears to gain some amount of power, but not enough to fully activate it.
Okay.
It seems you will need to find 5 more of these arcane devices, and sacrifice the monsters you find there to fully activate one.
Okay, so killing a
But
circle.
things don't always go to plan. These devices are old, and sometimes infected by corruption. Twisted versions of ancient Vaal may emerge, and sometimes even stronger foes.
Okay.
On fully activating one of the devices, you finally discover its true purpose. A portal opens and takes you deep underground to a lost temple, once the home of Atziri, Queen of the Vaal. What treasures could still be inside? I think you're gonna want to find out. In front of the entrance is a console of some kind, and on activating it, you can see a map of the temple. Atziri's personal chambers are on the far side, but how could anyone get there?
This is way better.
There are disconnected rooms,
But
and
I
the
like
layout
that the
doesn't seem to
build-up
make
was
sense.
simple and brainless.
And that's
killing
when
a
you
circle.
realize the purpose of
And
the
then
ancient
when you
devices
want to actually
scattered
do it,
through
that's when you can
Rayclast.
do it all at once.
The temple is powered by sacrifice, and this energy can be used to modify the very structure of the temple itself. Each time you run the temple, you will be given 6 rooms that you can place, allowing
okay.
you to craft your own dungeon to explore. Place paths to
Interesting.
link up the dungeon, and place rooms beside them full of precious loot.
Okay.
After you are happy with your choices, open the temple and discover the results of your efforts. Each room contains different challenges along with its rewards. On entering a room, the doors will slam shut behind
Hey,
you
Lola.
and you will need to face the encounter within. But choose wisely. It's important where you place the rooms to get maximum returns. For example, when placing a commander, you could just place it anywhere along an existing path, but a much better strategy is to place it next to a garrison of troops for him to command. With better leadership, the garrison will level up, making the monsters harder, but also more rewarding. Different rooms have different requirements for leveling up. For example, if you want to fully level up a smithy, you will need to supply it with golems from an adjacent golem works, and hook up a generator to the power network to supply it with power. After doing so, the golems will be powered up, making them much more dangerous.
Okay.
You don't need to memorize what interacts with what.
I was just
When
thinking
selecting
that.
a room, you will be shown the locations that will make other rooms level up, and exactly
Okay.
what effect it will have on the temple. After running the temple, a few of the rooms will destabilize and be removed. It will be up to you to rebuild the temple, adding 6 more rooms each time you come back,
30 streams.
making the temple larger
so much.
and larger
Lola.
and larger.
Thank
So
you.
that's the basic functionality of the temple, but there is a lot more. Once Doriani finds out about your travels to Leraval, he will attempt to persuade you to take on a new mission. The temple entrance contains a prototype of the time portal device. It will be able to take you back in time, but only to one specific point, right before Atziri triggered the cataclysm that destroyed the Vaal. He requests that you go back and attempt to stop Atziri to prevent the Vaal from ever being destroyed. Atziri is on the far side of the temple, so you will need to expand the temple significantly to get to her. And even worse, her chambers can only be unlocked by a room that isn't currently accessible to you. In order to deal with that, you are going to need to visit the architect of the temple. To get to him, you will need to place path rooms, but while doing so, you will probably want to exploit some of the Vaal technology only available in the past. Once you can travel into the past, a whole new set of rooms are available to you, and they have some pretty insane rewards. At level 1, the corruption chamber can be used to corrupt a single item. But placing it next to a thaumaturge to run the place, and a sacrificial chamber to provide soul energy, you'll be able to level it up. And it's worth it. Because once you get the room to level 3, there are some very nice rewards to be had.
I'm gonna be honest. I
In
don't
a
think
level
this
3
is for
corruption
me
chamber,
either, this
you will find
mechanic.
this mysterious device.
Like,
It has a slot to place an item, and it
I
only
think it's
accepts
more
items
approachable
that are
than
already
POE
corrupted.
1's version for me, but
What will happen to them? Well, normally
this
once
is
an
like,
item is corrupted,
I would be interested
you
in this
can't
for this
modify it any
league,
further.
and then I don't really want to
But
do
this
it.
device
probably,
allows you to
because it
corrupt
just
your
seems like
item
a lot
a
of
second time, adding another
planning.
enchantment. This has
Instead
the
of just
capability to
go
craft
kill
some very
monsters.
powerful items indeed. But be warned, the Vaal are all about taking risks in the pursuit of power. There is a 50% chance that the item will be destroyed.
So you have to like come in here with your item. You have to plan out so that you get to the right thing.
Each room has its
like,
own
there's a lot of
interesting
planning
mechanics
here.
and rewards when it levels up. Many of them contain bosses to fight, special drops, and in many cases, new crafting opportunities. For example, a level 3 alchemy lab has a nasty Vaal construct to fight, but if you can defeat it, you can find new corrupted soul cores. Like Guatalizi's thesis, which on boots allows you to sacrifice your life to run faster. Or Sita Qualotl's thesis, which on gloves will revive one of your minions whenever an offering expires. Get a sacrificial chamber to level 3, and you will need to face a highborn priest of sacrifice. Defeat him to be able to further corrupt a Vaal unique, modifying it in unpredictable ways. One of the mods of this unique will be removed and replaced with another random mod.
I mean, at least this mechanic isn't like timed as far
For
as
example,
they've
this
shown.
soul mantle. It gives you an additional totem, but lowers your totem's life and curses you when they die. By using the machine, this could result in a terrible item if you remove the good mod, but also some amazing items if you replace the downside. Now, one extra thing to mention about these Vaal crafting machines. You don't have to take the items you want to craft into the temple. If you don't have the item
okay,
you
that's
want
good.
to craft with you at the time, then clicking this button will allow you to create a currency item instead, allowing you to do the craft later
Then you
or
have
trade
to
it if you
bring
want.
Oh no, okay.
Now,
see.
there are all sorts of interesting rooms you can find in the temple, but the last one
That's
I want
good.
to show
That's
you
a good-
today
good
is the
addition.
Flesh Surgeon. A Vaal Flesh Surgeon can be leveled up by placing him next to a high-level synth flesh lab.
The fact that you can trade the item is
But be
big
careful.
too, because
The Flesh
maybe
Surgeon
I
has
don't
some
know what to do
rather
with it, but someone else
unpleasant
will.
experiments in his personal lab. Afterwards, you might notice the surgery table just sitting there. The Vaal are great at crafting items.
Oh no.
Why not do some crafting on yourself? After laying down, you'll be asked which limb you'd
What?
like to replace. Left arm, perhaps your right leg. Each limb can get a different set of random bonuses, so choose wisely. After getting up from the table,
Okay.
try out your new limb.
Oh shoot, you
It
can
seems
see
to work
it.
fine,
It's
and even
cyberpunk.
perform better than your normal one. Now, there is just one thing with replacing body parts. If you die and are resurrected, your body will return to its natural state.
Oh, that sucks.
You might need to return to the Vaal Surgeons if you want another robot
Oh, that
arm, and maybe get a
sucks,
better one
dude.
next time. Some rooms, like the Commander,
Why'd they have to
can
ruin
give
it?
you
It was
a
a
new
cool
type
thing.
of reward. medallions that can be used to manipulate the temple in other ways. Using a Quippalatal's medallion will allow you to artificially boost a room, even if it doesn't meet the normal requirements to level up. And a Huatalotli's medallion will stop rooms from destabilizing when you complete a temple, allowing you to guarantee getting a reward a second time. Great if you want to stock up on double corrupts. Now, with all that aside, time to face the Architect, and you will be in for a fight. Once defeated, you will find another console that can be used to modify the temple. But this one is special. It allows you to place new types of rooms with specific rewards. There are rooms with specific uniques,
Oh, those
special
are
runes,
vault rewards, basically.
and currency. But also a few other, more niche crafting experiments. Like this one, that can extract the socket balls back out of an item, at the cost of destroying it.
Oh, the item? Okay, destroy the
Now,
item, get the
Something
socket.
really important is every league we release a significant amount of content for the in-game. In order to make sure that the Fate of the Veil works well for late-game players, we've added many mechanics to make sure that you can scale the difficulty and rewards to match.
Getting some rooms to level 3 adds extra mods to the entire dungeon, and these stack with each other. So in endgame, when you can get some really big temples, you can generate a challenge that can even match the strongest of characters.
Okay.
We also start to introduce ways to store up energy for the temple, allowing you to save up many runs so you can do them later at your leisure, and not interrupt your mapping too often.
Nice.
Now in each league, it's important that we have a new pinnacle boss to test your character's might. In the Fate of the Veil, you will get to face Adziri while she was at the peak of her power. One of the rewards you will gain by defeating the Architect is the ability to place the Royal Access Chamber. Once connected to your temple, you can visit it to finally reach the Queen of the Veil herself. This fight takes place at a critical moment in history, right as Adziri communes with the beast's power and takes her true corrupted form. Now, we are not going to show you the whole fight, but we will tempt you with one of the rewards. This is Adziri's rule. This staff gives additional levels to all of your corrupted gems and lets you trade life for extra damage. But in addition to that, while using the staff, mirrors of refraction will constantly appear on the battlefield. Any projectile you fire at these will split into a nova, and they can chain from one to the other.
Okay.
So, that's the Fate of the Veil League. But we are also bringing the previous league, Rise of the Abyssal, into the core game, along
Nice.
with a few changes.
Now, for those of you who haven't seen what happens when a league is over, it's important to understand that you will not be seeing abysses in every area anymore. Rise of the Abyssal is now one of the league mechanics that can show up randomly in endgame. If you want to specialize in running abysses, there is now a tablet that will allow you to add them to any map you
Oh
run.
no, tablets mentioned.
You can also craft the tablet to add abyss-specific mods to enhance how they function.
What I'm really looking
Now
for
that Abyss is core,
for them to
it
change
also needs its own
in-game.
Atlas tree.
Oh man, this looks the same,
You
bro.
can gain your first points by completing an Abyss. But there are more available for doing depths and killing certain bosses.
Are there no
And there are a bunch of
like
different
foundational in-game changes?
options. You might just want more monsters and bosses. But you can also make finishing an Abyss have a chance to overrun a nearby map with the Abyssal. Or make your Waystone modifiers also apply to Abyssal depths. You could specialize in the interaction with other leagues, or specialize in a specific Abyssal faction. One of the important elements that we have heard loud and clear is that needing to do Abyss crafting on Waystones is quite annoying. So, we have removed that. In fact, we have removed instilling from Waystones as well. This mechanic
I
felt
knew that was
mandatory on
gonna be their
maps because it
reaction.
boosted the value of all other content. But it was both
Congratulations,
annoying to do
everyone.
and resulted in a lot of visual
They
clutter.
got rid of it. Not the way
Instead,
you wanted.
we are bringing back some
They
of that
got rid
power
of
on
it.
tablets, which you don't need to craft nearly as often, since they last for 10 maps each. Once you defeat the Arbiter of Ash, you will be able to upgrade tablets to a rare with 4 mods
I
using
don't
regular
like this,
currency.
man. I don't
Even
like
this
the way the
isn't enough
in-game
to
works.
fully bring back the power you could have gotten from instilling.
And they're not
So we have
making
also
it
buffed the bonuses that
any better
tablets
for
give.
me personally.
Going forward, we're not going to be adding any more crafting directly to Waystones outside of the basic currency because it adds too much micromanagement. But on
Okay,
that
that's
note,
good.
Fate of the Val does bring the ability to corrupt your tablets, hoping to get one of
Yeah,
many
you're just
different
moving
random
it
outcomes.
to the tablets. Yay.
Now,
Yay, tablets.
with regard to Delirium Fog,
tablets just
even
aren't
though
as good
you
as
shouldn't have to
scarabs,
have it on
man.
every map anymore,
I don't
we
like
still
that
did
they're
want to make it
random.
less
I
visually
don't like
annoying.
that your
Delirium
access to
Fog has
them
been toned down
sucks.
significantly, so you won't feel like you're just playing in a sea of grey.
I don't even care
Another
about
big
the
source of
juice.
problems
I
in the
just
end
want
game
to
is
be
the
able to
feeling
choose
of
which
getting
mechanic
overwhelmed
I'm
with
doing.
monsters.
It's all I
In
freaking want.
031, we reduced the number of monsters in early in-game in order to help with this, but still scaled up the number of
I want to
monsters
do
to
whatever
previous
mechanic
levels
I'm
by
interested
the
in
time you
doing
got to tier
in
15.
every map of in-game after a certain point.
After
Doesn't need
letting
to be
this
right
simmer
from the
for a
start,
while,
but
we are still getting this kind of feedback. So we are no longer going to scale up the number of monsters you go as you get deeper into the end game. Instead, we are scaling up the difficulty and rewards by the same amount. So to be clear, instead of increasing the number of monsters by 40%, they will instead drop 40% more items, grant 40% more experience, and have 40% more life, in addition to all the normal scaling they get due to being higher level. This only applies to regular monsters, not bosses. We have also reduced the speed modifiers
Well,
that monsters can
honestly-
get sometimes, which also helps a lot with this.
I'm starting. This whole announcement
We
started
did
making
have
me
a
like, do I
large amount of
just
content for in-game plan for 040.
do I just only want to play
But
POE 1?
unfortunately, we
Like,
just didn't get time
I
to
do
finish
not
it.
like the direction they're
The
going
scope
with
was a
POE
bit too
2.
large, and so we'll need to wait until 050
In
for
game
that.
in particular,
But
what
rest
you just
assured,
said,
there will be
completely
a
agree.
ton of upgrades for the existing leagues, as well as
Like-
new pinnacle bosses, and a significant
What
overhaul
is
to the
happening?
Atlas passive tree coming soon.
Now, another problem that becomes a much bigger issue in the end game is game performance.
Like, I fully
And we
expected
have
to
done
come
a
out of
lot
this
of work
completely
there.
excited because
The
it's a
primary
GGG live
issue is
event,
CPU
and I'm
load.
kind of coming out
And
of,
to address
like,
that, a lot of things have been optimized. And we have done a
I'll
lot of
talk
work
about
to
it more in
take
a minute.
advantage
We'll
of
let
more
them
of your
finish,
CPU cores.
But
You should see frame
you
rates
like
of at
his
least
movies?
25%
Oh, no, I like
higher,
Bart.
and a lot less bad frame spikes during gameplay. It does make quite a big difference,
Maybe it's what he's
especially on
saying
consoles.
that's making his voice irritating
A lot
to
more
you
work
right
in
now.
this area is ongoing, and you will continue to see performance improvements over the next few months.
Performance improvements is good.
Of course, another important area is game balance, and we have made a lot of changes. Now, most of these we will save for the patch notes, but I'll do a quick summary of some of the numbers. As well as adding 11 new unique items, we have
Just
rebalanced
doing
dozens of
overall
others
for
that are not
Lola.
currently used very often.
Yeah, Sam went
We've
really
also done a
long last
pass of the
night.
lineage supports. 21 of them have been rebalanced, as well as
Okay.
adding 9 more. Alongside the 2 new druid ascendancies, we have made balance changes to almost all the others, with some of them getting a grander rebalance, such as the Smith of Katava. Alongside the 20 plus new druid skills, we've also rebalanced 90 other active skills across all the different classes. And to top it all off, there are also over 250 new passive skills added to the passive tree. These changes should go a long way to increase the viability of many more skills, uniques, and overall build variety that can tackle our most challenging content.
Next up, we're going to be talking about our
Wow.
new supporter packs.
All right,
Today,
let me see where we
we're
are.
launching 2 to accompany you in Kraken's code.
After I was thinking,
So we're not quite live.
It was like we're so concentrating on like
game directors.
Secrets by doing some dungeon crafting. We'll begin the Q&A in Z time. We'll post the patch notes.
So
With release at the end
honestly,
of
I'm
next
starting
week,
to think that this
our
just
community
convinced
team
me
will be
not to
posting
play the
crucial
league, which
information you'll
is a
need for the
very
release.
first for a live
Keep
event.
an
but
eye on the
let's-
news.
I want to hear them talk.
Thanks for joining us
because
today, and
I'm
checking
hoping
out our
Ziggy
latest
asks some good
developments.
questions.
We're looking forward to playing alongside our fellow
The
shapeshifting
in-game changes in
exiles,
particular are
all
so
while uncovering
disappointing.
lost Val
Or
secrets
the
by
lack
doing some
thereof
dungeon
are
crafting.
so disappointing.
We'll begin the Q&A shortly, so please get your questions ready.
Like they're just leaning into tablets and like, tablets just don't work for me. They just do not give me the player choice that I want, and I just don't want to do random shit in the end game. Like, I
Welcome
don't
back,
understand
Exiles,
what's
to the Q&A
why.
portion. I am your host, Ziggy D, and today we're going to be touching on the design of the Druid and the Fate of the Vile League while we gather some community questions. Then we'll deep dive into endgame, balance, and other game design topics. I am, of course, joined by game directors Jonathan Rogers and Mark Roberts. How you guys going today?
Oh, very good. I mean, you know, it's been a great one to work on this one. Like, I've really enjoyed it. So yeah, it's definitely great to see you again. And it feels like it's only been like no time at all since the last time you were here with the POE1 release.
It feels like only several weeks, and that's
Also-
pretty accurate.
yeah.
We get to see you twice
I
as
can
often
pause
now,
'cause
so
we're
that
already behind. Okay. I just want to like do a basic rundown right after that announcement about how I'm feeling. They showed off Druid. They are usually not very good at showing stuff off for PoE2, to be honest. So maybe it looks worse than it is. But they made Druid look really not great. Like thematically, visually, all that stuff looked awesome. But from a gameplay point of view, I'm watching and like there were like two different things that was like, oh, maybe you could like clear a map with that skill, or like maybe that would flow. But a lot of the gameplay they showed didn't even look like it flowed together. It was just like someone spamming different skills. Like they were pressing like 20 different buttons or something, and they were very unrelated skills a lot of the time. Like they just didn't seem like they really meshed at all. It was very random. I didn't like it. Like it wasn't even like I'm pressing 20 buttons that are like that makes sense in combination thematically. It was like I'm gonna do a melee attack with a dragon that's slow as heck. Then I'm gonna take 2 seconds to eat a corpse, and then my eyes are gonna start glowing with electricity, and then I'm gonna melee attack still, because they're empowered now. And then I can do some cool attacks or something, but I'm not gonna use those to like. He was hitting white mobs with like 20 different skills before they would die. So something's wrong either with the way they were showing it off or with the Druid. Something is wrong. Okay, then the incursion thing finally looks like it makes sense, like from a UI perspective compared to PoE1, but also looks mega involved. And also it's kind of looks like it was blended with Heist in a way where Heist in PoE1, you can get a lot of different types of reward from Heist. Like it's almost everything you can get from Heist, actually. And in a way, what they've built looks like you're building a custom Heist, because Heist, so like when you do like blueprints in Heist in PoE1, you like pick the different reward rooms. It's pretty much that, but with incursion now. Like the incursion skin, but it's basically Heist. They've basically added Heist, except the gameplay of Heist was more like you just run through it and you don't actually kill anything. So in that regard, at least you're actually killing things. But I think it's just too involved for me. Like, I just want to kill shit and get rewards. I just want to farm. I think like Rise of the Abyssal was probably more for me. I never even really played it at endgame because I didn't get that far because I was playing hardcore. But honestly, like seeing the whole Druid thing and just being like, I'm not excited about any of these. Like maybe the bear form, because it had that move where you were like running and stomping through, and like that looked kind of nice. But I'm so hesitant after everything else they showed that I'm just like, I don't know, like it probably won't feel good. Like, and I'm dreading the first 30 levels of anything in this game because they haven't really seemed to address like the lack of choice you have early on, and just like I just don't know, man. Like it just doesn't. And then like everyone coming into this, like I watched a ton of, yeah, Druid gave me a meh feeling for as visually cool as it looked. I walk away from that like I didn't walk away being like, oh, I can't wait to play that, which is what I should walk away feeling. But like, and then they made like the summoning of the wolves and everything so complicated, because like I saw that one clip before they explained how it worked, where you're a wolf, you turn into a wolf, and you've got a wolf pack, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm not a minion enjoyer, but like thematically, that's cool. Running around with me and the boys, you know, like that's cool. But then they explain how you have to like, I don't know, sacrifice your fucking arm over and over again to summon them. Like you had to like mark an enemy and kill it to summon them, and then like there was some complicated way to summon them in a boss. I was like, why can't I just summon them? Why can't I just summon them? Why does everything have to be a complicated sequence? Like just let me summon them. Freaking crazy. Like I'm sure there will be plenty of strong builds that people come up with for this, but it's like the way they explain it is getting really irritating to me with PoE 2, because it's just like you're not making it sound fun. Like you're making it sound overly complicated just for the sake of being complicated. I don't know, man. So I'm bummed about that. I'm not really excited for Druid. I don't even know that they're trying to be different from Diablo Druid, because they do this with literally everything, and I think it's really just that they want it to be, they don't want it to be that you mindlessly kill mobs. That's what it really is. Like Jonathan does not want you press 1 to 3 buttons and you clear screens. That's not the kind of gameplay he wants, but also it is the kind of gameplay he wants apparently, because that's what they're doing in the end game. But like for some reason in the campaign you have this like almost Dark Souls-esque experience, which like I've had enjoyment with, but it's like they're trying so hard to force that gameplay that when they introduce stuff, they're like, oh yeah, like this is gonna be like Baldur's Gate 3, where you like you throw the oil, and then you throw the fire, and then it explodes, and then like now you're gonna make it rain, and he literally said we're gonna water our plants, bro. Like I'm gonna watch while my plants grow. That's how slow it is. I mean, honestly, that was one of the better looking combos, but it's just funny that that's like what they described, man. It's crazy that this is what's happening with PoE 2 when PoE 1 was so good. Like Keepers League, I was having the time of my life. Amazing. And like it's almost hard to believe that PoE 2 is made by the same people sometimes during these announcements. But this announcement was like classic. That's what the problem is, right? But then, okay, but everyone in the community has been clamoring like this whole week. Right. Yeah, I'm curious what Darth's reaction is too. He actually like played this before everyone else, and he was excited about the Wyvern form. So I do think the Druid probably looks way worse in this announcement than it plays, because they're just really bad for some reason at showing stuff off for PoE 2. But again, it's just not enough for me. I don't think. I think I'm actually going to skip this league. But I do want to hear what they're going to say.
It's fun. Yeah, I'm around every 2 months or so now. Roughly. It's great. I love it. Let's keep going. So I do have to.
But everyone was expecting in-game changes, and they basically just didn't do them.
The demonstration video.
Foundational
I think
changes.
one of the issues that we have is like we're so concentrating on like just demonstrating how the mechanics work that we sort of forget to be like, okay, let's actually make sure the damage numbers that we're doing on this like test character we're filming here are actually like in line with what people actually normally
okay, so they addressed
so,
that
yeah,
immediately.
There's a few things there that we probably should have caught and made a little
that
stronger there. But
yeah,
when you actually play it,
are similar to my
from
reaction.
The alpha feedback, incredibly powerful. Like
yes.
you know the like
yeah,
you know we
so
were
they're
seeing some people
basically
say,
saying
oh,
exactly
the
what
wolf
I
looks
just
weak
said.
or whatever. Well, I can assure you that
They
on alpha
demoed
there's
it
a bunch of people
bad.
saying the wolf is super OP. So you know it just comes down to
I don't really trust
the
Jonathan
things you go
saying
through
it's
in order to
super OP
demonstrate
though.
stuff.
I
But
think we
Probably
trust
going to be
Darth.
worthwhile. We make some videos
Who said he
showing a
had
bit
fun.
more of the
Yeah, yeah.
less demonstratey side and get them posted and stuff this week. Because honestly, you can just play it literally right now, and it's you know.
Yeah,
a
I've
different
definitely
ballpark,
been playing and recording a bit myself because I was like, when I first watched it as well, the draft, I was thinking, it's like I don't really get a feel for what it feels like to actually play it. Like, there's good demonstration here of the mechanics, but yeah, I can understand how from your perspective it'd be pretty easy to be like, oh, we want to communicate how this cool thing works and this cool thing works.
There's a fine line there for sure. Where if you get too hectic, people are like, I don't even know what's going on. I'm just they're just looking at
They
a ruckus.
definitely. I think chat
and then,
was
yeah,
definitely
in this case,
negative
let's say we went
about
on
the
it's
druid.
a little too far on the
show
other side of
off.
the line, was just a bit too slow. And
If they're talking about it
as a
this
result,
much,
yes, it
chat
can look
was
a bit weak, but,
roasting them.
Yeah, I think we'll try and get some like raw druid gameplay out to people to understand it. I think particularly for this class, because of the shape-shifting stuff, it's so hard for us to, normally we can look at something and be like, oh, that's just a demonstration. We kind of know what it would look like at endgame. But I think with the druid, it's just so unusual. It's so different that it's actually hard to judge what it would feel like to even play it. And I'm happy for my hands on to say that like it's almost immediately like very smooth, the shape shifting of it, the movement of it, especially because like in your demonstrations you're not really using dodge, roll, sprint, that sort of thing as well, which makes a big difference.
I suppose one of the things we didn't really dwell on in the video as well is that we do actually have dodge roll. I mean, they're not actually rolls for the animals, but yeah, all the animals can like hop around and that kind of stuff. And that was honestly one of those things that was like kind of funny because initially we actually had it so when you dodge rolled, you would transform.
This
back
is
into a
why
human.
them
the
going
reason we did
back
that
on
is
things
'cause
they've
it's
said
really
is a
hard to make
problem because people aren't
animations for
listening all the
animals that, like,
time.
actually work correctly. Like we actually thought it was impossible.
This
But then
person's
when
like,
we actually put it on
"Dude, you
alpha,
said
there was the
that
kind
all
of
the things
visceral
are coming
reaction of
from
I want
release."
to still be a bear.
Yeah, but then they
like,
backtracked,
while
dude.
I'm hopping around. So we ended up having to like work out like how can we make this possible? How can we make it so that you can actually do the dodge rolling with an animal? And that sort of ended up.
Oh man, people are fucking
being pretty good. I would
biting
say.
each other.
And this was like clearly the like the hardest class to design so far, and it took a bit longer. Like I think you were originally hoping to bring it out in a previous
Yeah, quite a while ago. But the thing is with it is that it's kind of like designing 4 classes in one. Because
Oh, man,
not
the
only do you have
comments
the
are rough,
situation
bro.
where
Okay, I'm not
obviously we want
alone.
to have synergy between skills and stuff like that, and we can like look at that in a normal class and work out what those might be. But with this class, people want to be able to play just as a bear or just as a wolf, as well as people who want to play like dual with a human and a wolf, or people who just want to be a wolf and a bear, and like all the different combinations. So we had to kind of come up with a way for like each line needs to be self-sufficient and that it's got all the tools that you need. But at the same time, you have to not have it so it feels like there's just duplication between them. We're like, oh, like this is just the same thing as what a bear has, but you know, you are a wolf instead. So we kind of have to like, it's like you need all the tools and yet you also need to have them feel different. And that just made it really, really tricky to get all of the things right with it.
Yeah, I don't know,
And then it didn't also help that, since the last time we were working on the Druid, way back when we showed it off in Gamescom 2023, we had WSD. And that is a whole other complication because, you know, like how can we make that work with the animal forms? It's like a whole thing. Like I'll tell you the wyvern, for example, like we had a hell of a time making it so that you could do the ranged attacks because you need to be able to walk while you're doing it. The wyvern's sitting there with its arms like planted on the ground, you know, like being able to walk while also spinning it. Yeah, it's like we went through so many iterations of that. So yeah, it was just a very tricky class overall, like just crazy.
I remember seeing some very goofy looking like wyvern like months and months ago.
Yeah.
You were like trying to, this is not working right.
Right.
Like,
Well, I
this
also
does not
remember like
look right.
for a long time the wolf was just like a dancing dog. It was just like it looked really silly. And like man, the wolf as well. I mean, it was really hard to get right, and because one of the things we really wanted to avoid was I didn't want that too much of that whole like man in a wolf suit vibe.
To be honest,
like
I
wanted to
do
actually
not
get
care
the
about
feeling of like this is actually a
question.
different animal, which I think we'll walk onto a speed boost.
I don't think it's each form takes
But between the forms, like human
Yes.
to
You've just got like 5 damage over time style spells. Why not just cast all of them and then you don't have to ever do anything else, right? Like, so it's like that kind of stuff makes it really hard. So then you have to start thinking, okay, we want to make it so that you cast a long-term thing as a human, but then being an animal is going to augment that so that it improves it. So for example, with the tornado,
You can't. Okay, here's the foundation of the issue. Is this right here, man? You cast a long-term thing as a human, and then you transition. Like, in what context does this work? In what context does this work? Like, they have a real problem. It's like there's too much of a difference between the expected gameplay of maps versus everything else. Like, we're talking about these combos and stuff. All of this is irrelevant for mapping. Like me setting up like stuff that's long term. He literally said like long lasting. Bro, I don't want to be in one place for a long period of time in maps. It doesn't make sense. That's not the game. That's not what you've made the end game be. I mean, maybe with the tweak they did with less monsters and more loot, maybe that is what they're pushing towards. If that is what they're pushing towards, they need to say it, because that's fine. At least then you have a singular direction that's distinct from PoE 1 too, so that's good. But like, you can't have both. I think they have sufficiently proven you cannot have both. One will suffer, or both will suffer in the case of PoE 2. But
it's got a similar mechanic
damn,
to the
man.
little twisters that the hunters have, where ground effects can empower it with
what are we talking about here?
Extra elemental stuff. And so then we're like, okay, well, if the animal forms are the ones that can create the ground effects,
Dude, I thought I was going to come in today and just be all excited. I didn't realize I was just going to be raging.
You now have to have both the animal forms and the spellcaster stuff. You want to
this is crazy.
Get all that together. So it's just a lot of that thinking about how can an animal form aid a spell, how can a spell aid an animal form, like all the way through. And then, yeah, as I said, we throw it over the fence, and then Mark tries to work out what kind of numbers can actually make it.
It's a web of infinite difficulty, right? Because like we're talking about the 4 forms within the class, but each of these skills also synergizes with every other class and every other skill in the game, and it's becoming growingly more complicated.
Someone shall
that's
suffer.
also what's fun about the game,
also,
and all
that
the things you can unlock and the crazy builds you can do. But yeah, I mean,
when Mark's just like, it's really hard. This is basically Mark's boss, like final boss, is Jonathan. He's just fighting Jonathan to make PoE 2 fun. Like, I'm sorry to feed into the thing that everyone freaking says, but like, it is really starting to feel like that is the case. Like
this week's focus has been
when you
like,
look
okay,
at the
we
difference
had all the
between how much
like
fun
during our
PoE
alpha
1
testing and
is
internal
right
testing,
now,
we had like, you know, there
and
was
where
the,
PoE 2
I wanna
is,
be
I'm
all
just like, what
forms
is
going between. There
happening
was like, I
behind
just
the
want to be wolf,
scenes
I just want to
here?
be bear, I just want to be a dragon, and now we're getting a lot more.
And I think what
just
it
wanna
is
cast
Jonathan
nature
doesn't have
plant
his
skills and do
fingers in
plant
PoE
stuff.
1.
And so it's like, okay, well, how do we make that work? Well, because they're quite long duration, so we're having a bunch of complexity with that as well, and it honestly just, it does just spiral into like, oh my god, there's 20 million variables here. But it's
Like
fun.
PoE 2 actually
and at the end of the day, as long as it is honestly
like PoE 2 actually feels like there are two opposing opinions at work making the game. So maybe honestly the issue is get Mark out of PoE 2. And then let Jonathan figure it out, because clearly there's some bickering here. There's some identity crisis with PoE 2. So just let Jonathan have it. Let Jonathan fully realize the vision. And then, you know, keep Mark on PoE 1. Because Mark on PoE 1's been great. Like, and you can tell that it's just Mark on PoE 1. Because there is not the issue of too many cooks in the kitchen. Exactly. Yes. Whereas PoE 2 clearly has that problem. So I think Mark just, like, as much as I personally feel like Mark is making the decisions that are saving PoE 2, clearly he needs to not be working on it, because just let Jonathan fail, basically, or succeed. If he fails, he'll learn from the failure, and then he'll eventually succeed, or whatever. Great for him. But I think Mark just needs to get out of the kitchen, because he's doing great stuff on PoE 1, and it's just making PoE 2 seem like it has no direction.
fun to play. Then honestly we're golden. So, you know, I would say we're pretty much there on almost everything with this class. I'd actually say we're a little bit more prepared than normal. We've had a lot of testing.
Yeah.
By one.
Despite, I mean, partly because it's been in the works for so long. But yeah, it's, I don't know, like ultimately pretty fun. I'd say there's still something, obviously there's still more to do. There's obviously always more to do. But yeah, there's a lot going on, a lot of enjoyment. I saw yesterday, I was just like walking past someone's computer, and, you know, someone was mentioning like, yeah, it's just fun placing 6 volcanoes and then just slamming on them. I was like, all right, sweet, you do you. Like, that's fine.
I was definitely enjoying obliterating bosses in bear form, like with dropping tornadoes, and there's the totem which you can summon in animal form.
Yep.
And then you're putting fishes down and they're exploding, and you're putting extra things on the ground and they're exploding. And there was definitely some boss deletion going on there. So.
Even just walking past the many entangles going out, and then there's that plant support gem. I'm like, all right, it's putting the new.
I see chat being like, no, Zig, you don't get enough.
Scarab and Reels Atlas Tree win. Yeah, that's how I
Let's
feel,
say
bro.
fixed. There was a thing that was like double generating rage. So I'm like, I don't know if this was intended.
Right.
And like, no, the designer said that's probably not intended. Thanks, Ziggy. I'm like,
I don't know.
Sorry,
we'll see
guys,
where
not
that
again.
goes, because I was like, no, that's fine.
this is a fish.
It made it to me,
Yeah,
and
this
I was
is a
like, no,
fisher thing.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, because it generates rage when you first slam, and then the
So-
fishes, every time they pulse, it generates rage. I'm like,
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit, I didn't even know that.
Because like the totem's making it pulse.
Yeah,
and that's
guys,
generating
I think I'm just gonna skip
right,
this
right.
league.
That's
I
a
can't
decision.
believe
That's
it.
interesting.
I was so
Yeah, yeah.
excited.
It's fine.
I love that because that's like
Okay.
ridiculously powerful. That
Yeah, yeah.
feels
This
like
is
way
the first
permissive,
time
but I
I've
was
walked
like,
away from one of
this
these
feels
not
illegal, but that's
dying
like,
to play.
you gotta let a few
the new
things in
league.
there
Nah,
that
it's
feel
fine.
illegal.
It's actually
It's
crazy.
doing what the skill says.
I may not have. Maybe I didn't get enough. Okay, cool.
I don't know. They might have changed it. I'll find out afterwards. I just throw my opinion in there. I don't want to necessarily be like, I try and make sure with a lot of these balanced discussions, it's not like, I'm just an authority on the matter. I want to actually discuss these things through, because maybe it isn't actually fine. But my first instinct is like, yeah, like let it run wild. Like, what's the problem? So
Yeah, you gotta.
we'll see what happens. But whatever. They don't know what the
I
problem
think
is.
there's
so
going to
don't
be a
worry.
long,
Oh, now
lot
they
of
do.
strong
Thanks, you
builds
ruined
out of
it.
this.
Now
I
people
just,
will know if it changed, and now
yeah.
They'll see the thing
Whatever.
about generating rage, and
I think spell totems are going to be crazy overpowered.
I'm developing a reputation now. It's just helping finding bugs. It's okay. So, like the shapeshifting stuff comes from this trinket, the talisman?
Yeah, the animal talisman.
And is there any limitation just kind of like putting that on another class and just say like, I am playing my mace marauder or my
Yep,
quarterstaff monk and I want to do a wolf leap slam that marks targets?
You can do it. In
Okay,
fact, it was one of
cool.
the things initially that it's funny with the audio team, because initially like, oh, we want to record like bear lines for
Yes.
for the druid the whole time, and I'm like, hey guys, remember, anyone can turn into this animal. You're actually going to commit to every single class is going to have like three different extra versions of every single line the character can deliver.
Maximum effort.
It's like, yeah, that's a bit tricky. So we ended up going with a voice mod in the end. But yeah, that was
Yeah,
one
I'm
of
gonna be
those-
really
like their
curious
kind of
to see
thoughts.
the
I think it shifts
community's
to.
reaction
It
to
almost
this.
sounds like,
Like
to me, that's what
maybe
it sounds like.
I'm
They're like,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
they're thinking
being
of
negative, but I don't think I
yeah, it would
am
be
being, because I
completely
came
impossible
into
to
this
record every single
positive.
line
I
an
really
additional
didn't
3
expect
times
to
for
come
every
out of
character
this
class.
voice actors, everybody come back and we need to roll like a bear.
being negative at all.
But yeah, effectively, every class can be an animal. It's exactly the same as the weapon restriction. Ultimately, being a bear is the same as having a mace, which may sound a little bit odd, but that is actually how it works and
Oh.
what allows having.
Whoa. I didn't
Yeah.
even think about that. Wait, so you can use mace skills while in bear?
No.
form?
What I
Wait,
meant
no,
was
what?
is that it's the same. I mean, it's the same in the sense that it's just a weapon type, right? Like,
Yeah, right,
like,
okay.
yeah.
Damn it, now we have to make that possible.
Well, I mean, you can turn into calm as a bear.
That's unique
but,
item territory for the future.
Yeah, well, yeah, it often gets talked about like the idea of like, why are things like so weapon locked? And I've always maintained the position that you guys want to kind of do that as much as possible initially, and then in the future you can blur the lines a little bit. Like there's maybe in the future you're like, oh, well, maybe this skill has a way of crossing over.
We can do, but the thing is, a lot of the identity of a weapon type really comes a lot from what it can do.
Ziggy
and so that's
trying
kind of the
to
main
make
reason
it
why we do
good,
that
and the
way,
John
but,
is like, actually,
yeah, but the thing is as
no.
well, the weapon swapping, I mean, so you can still use skills from different elements, different weapons and things
Well,
like
the
that.
thing is, like,
It's
it's funny
like,
that you mentioned
no,
that
no,
with the bear
Ziggy.
because, like, definitely some of the bears, I noticed parallels between some of its skills and some of the mace stuff, and I could see absolutely combining like this bear skill that places fishes with.
Be honest,
the other
Ziggy's
stuff
kind of a
on the
genius
mace
because
that triggers the fishes. Like, there's like very obvious.
he
like,
frames things
Well, I
so
mean, they're adjacent
nicely, but
classes,
he
right? I
is
mean, you've got,
bringing
like,
up
strength versus
things that
strength,
the
like, we wanna
community
be
is
able to make sure that
genuinely
some of those
upset
key
about.
elements do,
But in
like,
a way
cross over
that
just so that to open
Jonathan
up
and
the
Mark
way to have
aren't like
synergy between
under
different
attack,
classes more easily.
and they just start going
as
off.
you get more classes and more
explaining
skills,
stuff.
you obviously get an overlap of the kind of mechanics and keywords and stuff, iterating, and thus they will always cross synergize. And where there still will be new things a class offers, yes, there's always going to be a bunch of stuff that they use that will
then interact.
But he's
with all the
bringing
other
up a
skills.
very
So-
good point, which they are not addressing very well, which is the weapon restrictions are limiting the skill pool.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting actually those ones because they're on completely opposite sides of the tree. You've got Dex versus Strength Int, and that's been a little bit hard to kind of like get the where the mechanic should go on one side versus the other. So where we ended up going is that the nature side of things for plants on the Strength Int is like you've got the poison on the Dex side versus the kind of like just pure nature like physical damage spells on the on the Strength Int side. But that's been fun though because now it's actually been really fun designing the supports because the more classes we have, the more we can start to think, okay, like here's a support that's for something obscure. How can we make it so this can apply to some other kind of thing on the opposite side of the tree where like now you've got some interesting interaction? So there could be some kind of like thing where growing plants as a ranger could be sort of something. I mean, like I can't say I've tested the potential there myself, but like we made all of that work. All the plants can, like plant stuff all has mechanics around like watering the rangers' plants is like a thing. They all have ways that works.
I mean, that definitely opens up interesting party options in the future as well. Like,
it's a thing.
I do like the idea of being like a
you
rainy druid watering.
It's a thing. It's easily a thing. It's not even hard to do as well.
Right.
It's kind of just like thanks, druid.
I'll be
You buff
honest, like
poison rangers.
they made it look really bad. I think there will be good builds that are fun.
And the rain buffing lightning skills as well. Like
this league, but the big thing for me is that they're not.
It's
fundamentally
pretty
changing the
wild how much
direction
stuff
of the
you've just
end game,
jammed
and
into
so
one
I'm just
class
looking at
here.
it and I'm just
How did
like,
you, like kind of settle on a identity for the lion?
Suffer to do so, yeah.
People know what the wolf is. And even a lot of the like druid stuff is pre-established as like, you got plants and you got like nature and you got like lifting up the earth, that sort of stuff.
Well, we really wanted to have a third form that was a little bit out there in terms of different from what you'd seen in another game. I mean, obviously, like every game that's got transformations has the bear and the wolf, right? That's just like the staple. But and actually, for that, funnily enough, for that reason, we couldn't not do it. There was actually a period there where we weren't going to have a wolf because we were a little bit unhappy. Yeah, with us, and it's just like, well, exactly right. That was the reaction. That was the reaction of like all the furries come out of the woodwork and like you gotta have a wolf. How dare you? Yeah, how dare exactly right. So we're like, okay, we'll have a yeah, exactly. Don't anger them. So that was a real concern. So we decided to go. We needed the two familiar, and then we needed one that was a little bit more out there. And really, when we were looking at the bear and the wolf, it was kind of like we want the slower, harder hitting. We want the faster and like speedy kind of version. Obviously, being the wolf. We also wanted something that had some range elements. And then a sort of more spellcastery vibe a little bit more. And so we sort of thought about it a little bit like what animal is ranged? Like it's not really like it's kind of a lot.
That's it for me. Oh man. I'm in shock, I think. I'm in shock. I fully expected. It's weird. Maybe my alarm didn't go off because my alarm knew better than me. But like, I just saw someone in chat say, quote, "The in-game changes are coming next patch," end quote. 2 patches later, quote, "In-game changes are coming next patch," end quote. Yeah, and full release in 2025, right? And POE 2 won't affect POE 1, right? Year-long league. Yeah. Like, it's compounding a little bit here, and like they really did say in-game changes for so long, and it just that part is so disappointing. I don't know what happened, but like I'm so freaking disappointed.
One thing we've changed here is
sorry. Yeah, I was fully expecting I'd come in here, I'd get super hyped, we'd play the league, overpromise and underdeliver or not deliver. Yeah, and like I wasn't even in the camp of like people were really overhyping this, where they were like, oh, they're gonna have not just druid, they're gonna have Templar, they're gonna have swords, they're gonna have Act 5 and 6. They're gonna have like people were like piling on all the things that they wanted, that they were just like, yeah, we'll just like wish this into existence for the next league, and I wasn't in that camp at all. I was like, we're gonna get Druid. I'm excited, and we're gonna get in-game changes, which I was really excited for. And we we got Druid. I honestly, I'm sure if I played this league, I would have fun playing Druid. As bad as they made it look, I'm sure it's actually fun. And the only reason I'm actually sure is because I really do trust Darth a lot. And Darth said it was fun. But also I could like, if I was looking so hard, man, when they were showing Druid, I could see some things that could be fun. So like the bear stampede thing, very fun. The plants covering the entire screen thing, that could be fun. You know, like the wyvern rolling magma thing where it was exploding the entire screen, that looked pretty fun. The wyvern flying around breathing fire on everything, that looked fun. The way they were playing it did not look fun. But like I could see the little pieces, the little nuggets of how it's actually going to be played. And those looked fun. But like, man, when they were showing for like what felt like forever, the wyvern just awkwardly, very slowly swiping at things with its wing on the ground, I was like, come on. This is not fun. And it's like it hit the white mob like 3 times, and it was the white mobs just tanking it. I'm like, this is not good, guys. This is a bad look. Like, what are we doing here? And there was not a single screen, not a single clip demonstrating the druid like killing monsters in in-game that I can remember. And maybe I missed it. But like, I did not see a single moment of in-game. I just saw them hitting the tankiest white mobs in the world or something with all the different skills. And maybe that's just like poor planning on their part. I think it's just significant, like really bad planning on their part for how to demo this. But honestly, I think it's a moot point. I think Druid is actually going to be fun, despite what they showed. I think people are going to make a lot of cool stuff. There was a lot of interesting skill additions that people are going to make fun. But what I don't understand, what I am very disappointed about is that in-game is virtually unchanged. I do not think what they talked about is a big enough shift to radically change the in-game experience to be more fun. The fact that when they showed that Atlas tree and it looked exactly the same, except it had a new section, a new separate section, for the like abyssal stuff, I was like, it's over. It's over, man. I can't get excited about playing the game if I'm gonna get to the end and hit a brick wall of boredom. Like, I play POE for the end game. I mean, like, I enjoy the campaign of POE 1 and of POE 2, but I invest so much into a character because it goes somewhere. Right? Like, I'm totally fine spending 30 hours in the campaign because I'm a slow player. When I get to the end, that, like, I'm going to be with this character for a long time. Like, I think I've played already well over 100 hours in Keepers League. And so, like, I'm fine with it because I'm fine with, like, the work because the investment pays off, right? But if I get to end game and I'm hitting a brick wall of it just being completely boring and I don't have any control over the type of content I'm doing, it's random, it's meaningless, there's no goalposts, like, what are we doing? I just don't understand the point. And maybe early access just isn't for me. If this is what's gonna be, but if they come out of early access and they have not fixed the end game, maybe PoE 2 just isn't for me. Because I'm starting to really lose faith here Oh, I'm sure the fourth chapter will be fun. But my point is, I don't even care because I don't want to invest, put time investment into a character if I'm going to get to the end game and that's going to be it. Like, I want to play the character. I want to experience the growth of a character. But when I get to end game, it's just not fun. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. Yeah, I want to play Act 4. But I think I'm going to wait another league. Because this ain't it. Man. I mean, I guess I should be grateful that that was bad. Because I'm feeling WoW right now. And I just want to put in the hours on WoW. I'm working on Legion Remix stuff. Because Legion Remix got like... Yeah, exactly. I have more time for other games now. Like this is a gift, really, in disguise. I'm in shock because, oh yeah, we didn't get Toda. I see people in the comments because I still have the chat up. People screaming about Toda, and that's the other thing. We didn't get a third ascendancy trial. Crazy. We got so little in this reveal. Like, so little. I mean, to be fair, the league mechanic looks like it took them 1,000,000 years because it looks really complicated. Like, it looks really in depth. Like, they put everything and the kitchen sink into this mechanic for the league. Like, you can get every type of reward from it. You can make your own dungeons, whatever. Yeah. I mean, that is one argument for playing this league, is that league mechanic will be in every map. So if that's the one you want to do, you don't have to worry about all the tablet shit, and you can just do the league mechanic. So maybe that's why I should play this league, because it doesn't matter that they didn't fix the end game, because the current league mechanic is something I'm interested in. So maybe I should play it. Because I'm sure the campaign will be fun. I'm not actually really worried about that at all. There is stuff that I'm frustrated that they still haven't addressed that does affect the campaign, but you got 20 Christmas tokens, nice. Yeah, I'm sure the campaign will be fun, and I haven't played Act 4, so maybe what I do is this comes out, I'll stream day 1, see how I feel. Maybe they just made it look really, really bad. I mean, I know they made it look really bad. But maybe it'll still be a good time, you know? It's still POE. Oh man, I'm just watching chat go by, and people are kind of pissed. It's people being pissed, and then people being like, "Shut up," at the people that are pissed. Ugh. I don't. Yeah, I don't know, man. Anyway, I'm gonna be back tomorrow with Farming Sim. Oh, 1 second. I had to blow my nose. I'm gonna be back tomorrow with Farming Sim. We're gonna be wrapping up my Woodland Farm playthrough. We're gonna see what all the crops I've grown look like. I have 19 or 20 crops or something, different crops. That'll be really fun. Saturday, or whatever my next stream is after Friday, will be more at Stream 3. And then I will probably be playing day 1 of this new league. And trying to get over how upset I am and just enjoy the game, because the game is good. As much as I bitch and moan, the current game I actually have a lot of fun with, It's a lot better than a lot of other games I've played. It's still a good game. I'm just disappointed at the pace that they're going compared to like the bar that they've set with POE1 and with the direction they seem to lack. But at the end of the day, what they currently have is still a high quality game that I've had a lot of fun with. Like I've played hundreds of hours of it. So I want to be careful complaining too much because obviously I like it, you know. But it is making me think. It's more just like, where do I want to spend my time, right? And POE1 is so good, and I don't know. I want POE2 to not be POE1, but I want it to elicit the same feelings that POE1 gives me, where I just am all in, you know. But I think, and I'm usually not the person that like struggles when a game isn't really complete with understanding the game isn't complete. But the thing with POE2 that makes it really hard is that POE1's right there. And like POE1's got all this stuff that is done, that is fleshed out, and is similar to what POE2's doing because they're the same genre. And it's the same dev. And so it's really hard to see the game with that stuff not figured out. It's really hard to see the game with that stuff not in there, like not having all the classes, to see them not really like know what they're gonna do with the end game. I guess, I hope, because I don't know. I maybe I'm underestimating too. By the way, this is the thing. Maybe the end game is significantly improved. Because of that one little change they talked about with the monster, the reduction in the number of monsters, because maybe that is the thing that shifts it from being an end game that's meant to be blasted in the way POE1 is and the way most ARPGs is, and makes the mapping more like early campaign in POE2. Maybe that's what's happening, and then you get more rewards, so it doesn't feel bad and slow from that direction. Maybe. Yeah, it's not even which channel is my favorite. It's more just that like POE2 has so much potential, and it's so clear what that potential is because of POE1. And so it's frustrating to watch them move so slowly and also take so many missteps when they have the prime example of the right way to do things right there. You know, like they made that. Jonathan made POE1. He made POE1. So why are we making such poor decisions with POE2? Like, I understand that it's not going to be POE1, and I don't want it to be POE1, but why can't they see, for example, that one of the reasons that POE1 is the success that it is today is that when I get to the end game, it's like a choose my own adventure. How is it not clear to you that that's one of the #1 selling points of your original game? How do you not know that about your game? And then when you make a sequel, you don't make that also true about the sequel. I'm not saying make it look exactly like POE1. I'm just saying give me the freaking choice. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, and I'm hopeful, but I don't want to like rant over the fact that it does, even though I'm disappointed with like where they're going. The game they have is good. POE2 is a good game already. But they've just set the bar really high. That's really all it is. They set the bar really freaking high, impossibly high with POE1. And they have not, for me, surpass that bar yet. But yeah, I'll play this on day 1, which should be the 12th. Yeah, 12th. We'll see what happens from there. If I'm having fun, I'll keep playing. If I'm not having fun, I won't keep playing. Easy peasy. And tomorrow we'll do Farming Sim, and then we'll get back to Etrian 3, which I'm adoring. I'm adoring that game. And I'm just going to be playing a bunch of WoW off stream because that's really great. But anyway, thank you guys for being here. Sorry it was a little bit late. My alarm didn't go off. So